This is day 16 of our 30 days AI automation challenge. Today we are going to be building a Telegram voice agent. We want a situation whereby I can talk to Telegram via audio and it will go ahead and do what I want it to do. So this is just something basic. I'm on the go. I need to send a mail to somebody on my contact list. I just want to say, hey, send a mail to Shola. Tell Shola to be prepared for the meeting on Monday. Tell him to, come up with a presentation, and then I send it. Then I want my agent to draft the mail, look for the person's email address in my contact list, and then send the mail to the person. So that's what we're going to be building today. So I'm starting off with a trigger, and the trigger in this case is, of course, Telegram. So the trigger is going to be on message. When a message is received on Telegram. So when a message is received on Telegram, that is what we want to do. So don't mind this one. I've done something there before, but let's test it out. Before we even do the testing, we've dealt with credentials. So you can create your credentials and make sure it is connected before you come around and say you want to even use it. I have my Telegram bot connected already. So let me test it out and just say something. I want an audio. Hey, send a mail to Ola. Tell Ola to be prepared for the meeting coming up on Monday, 19th January. Tell Ola to be prepared to make presentations for about 40 minutes on why we should automate our processes. All right, so I'm sending that. Look at it, it's here now. So if you scroll all the way down, you will see that the duration is 14 seconds and it is an audio. So you have this there. That's the first stage on message from Telegram. Because it is an audio, we want to download the file before we can process it and do something else to it. So I'm going to add another node from Telegram, but this time around, it's going to be what? To get a file. It is an audio. If it were to be a text, we will just pass the text along to the next phase. But we want to, download that audio and then treat the audio. Here also, you connect your credentials and then you just come here where we have the field. So in the output from the trigger, which is the input here, you will locate the file ID, which is there for our audio, and drag it there. Leave the download on because you want the audio file to be downloaded. Let us execute that step, and then it will download the file for us. So that file has been downloaded here. Look at it, the file is downloaded. So we are done with the second node. But we have the file downloaded as audio. How do we move it forward? We need to transcribe. So today's class is centering around transcribing your content. Well, you have an audio, you have a video, you need to process the text. So how do you transcribe it? We can use an OpenAI tool for transcribing. So if I come to OpenAI, we are not messaging a model. We've done that before. We are not generating an audio. We want to do what? Transcribe. If you want to translate to, maybe you want to create your own version of your translator. When you say something, it should be translated to multiple languages and sent out. You know, you can choose translate a recording, but we are transcribing the recording. So add transcribe here. Add your OpenAI credentials. Your free won't work here. So I've said that before. You probably need to add a few dollars there for practicing. So here, leave everything here. What do you want to transcribe is data, and that is here already. So we are not doing anything here. Leave it there. Let's execute it and see whether it will transcribe what I said earlier on. We want it transcribed here. Good. See, send a mail to Ola. Tell Ola to be prepared for the meeting coming up on Monday 19. Tell Ola to be prepared to make presentations for about 40 minutes on why we should automate our processes. And look at what it did. It was able to capture everything I said. I didn't need to say it in Queen's English and all that, but it captured everything. So I added that here. We now have the text to process. So where is the agent to write the mail? We will now add an agent, AI agent. So I'm adding an AI agent. And of course, we want to define what the agent should use to do what it needs to do. So here, I don't even need to write so much. I'm not writing something long. I'll just say, here is the message. Then I drag the text here as the input for my agent. So the agent will grab the transcribed recording and then write it out for me. So I need to put like a system image here. I mean, system message. I think with what we've been doing, you should now know the importance of prompting. I've been saying that before we even jumped on the 30 days AI automation. Writing solid prompts is suitable, is very, very important, especially if you want to go a long way in AI automation. You want to write long prompts that will be detailed, that will, be enough to guide your agent. So what do I want to write here? I'll just write something simple. Create an email with proper formatting, okay, using the inputs, then send the mail out. So I'll say use the my contacts tool. That is my Google Sheet where I store all my friends' contacts, to fetch the person's email address. That's what I'm saying. To fetch the person's email address that will receive receive the email. So, simple as that. Then I want to say sign off with um Olalekan. Um, Maybe if we want to put best regards, you know, maybe that's what I want to use to sign off my mails. I'm not writing something too long, just this. So if I execute this, we should have the text written properly now. But you and I know that our agent needs some things to work. I need to add the chart model. We also need to add the tools because as it stands now, there is no sheet where we have all the email addresses. So let me just come out here and open the Google Sheets that we've used before for other projects. So what do I have here? My name, email, and phone number. So Ola is here. This is the email address. You notice I didn't mention the email address in my voice note. I just said Ola. I want the agent to figure it out. I don't want to be, saying the full email address. So you create a Google Sheet here called My Contacts. So I come back here. I will add the chat model first, which is OpenAI model, and we're not changing anything here. Then I had the tool. So I'm adding Google Sheets here. Some adding Google Sheet, and that Google Sheet, of course, connect to it with your credentials and then choose the file. The file is my contacts. So I'll pick that, and it has just one sheet, which is fine. So that's what I want here. I closed it. So I've added the OpenAI model. My agent is empowered now, to look inside here. So I want to rename this as my contacts. Don't forget, I mentioned my contacts in my agent's system message so that it will understand that this guy is the tool called my contacts. That's what we want to add here. We still need one thing here, but I don't know if I'll tell you how to get it there. We need what we call our structured output parser, because email that we want to send out, how do we tell Gmail that this is what should go inside the tool, the subject, and the content? Maybe you don't understand what I'm saying. Let us run these agents. Let's run it and see the output. So I'm running this now, that the agent should write the mail out for me. It has done that. Look at the output. It came out in just one single thing. Let me even bring it out in form of a table. Just one thing. Check the JSON tune. Just one thing. as output. But how do I send this to my mail? In my Gmail or any mail at all I want to use, I need three key things: the recipient, the subject, and then the content. But everything here is together. We need to a way to tell our agent and say, you know what, I want your output in this format. So you can add another tool that we call structured output parser, but you may not even see it here. If you don't see it there, this is something else that you can do. Like I always said, I always say rather, look at the AI here and say add structured output parser. What's the essence of that structure output parser? It is what we are going to use to help us now divide the output from the agent into two subject and the body of our mail. Once we have it there, then we are good to go. So I've asked it to help me look for that structured parser. Look at it here. See, after using the n8n AI, it added this output parser for me. So I needed this, but I couldn't get it there. So just search for it, it will add it. But take note, after adding it, it's possible that it will, affect what you must have configured in your AI agent. So take time to double check again and be sure that what you have in there is still there and your system message. Please take note. So what's the essence of the structured output parser? Let's open it up here. You will see this default JSON example here. So our text coming from the agent will come in just one output. But before we can send it to the email, we need those things to be, we want it in form of three outputs: one email, second thing subject, and then the third will be the body of the message. So we need to put a JSON here. So what am I writing here? I just put curly bracket and then double quote, send to double quote, full column, and then put a sample email here just to tell it how we want it to be processed. Then I added subject. The same thing, I didn't put anything in the subject. Body, I didn't put anything in the body. Then I closed the curly bracket. This is just to give it an example and say this is how I want you to process the text. Right. So let's leave that and close it. If we run this agent now, let's run it. Initially everything came together as one. Let's execute it now. It would have helped us to separate it into those key three inputs that we now need for our mail. Look at it: send to, subject, and then the body. So now that we have everything sorted out, let's bring up our mail. So I want it to be sent to my mail and send a message, right? Then connect your credentials to, I now had my send to, drag it there. Subject, drag my subject. The body of the message, drag it here. So if I should execute this now, I should receive a mail. It's been sent. Let me check my coming meeting. Hi, Ola. Please be prepared for the meeting scheduled for Monday. You'll be expected to make 30 minutes presentation or why we should automate. Thank you for your attention. So this is how you will be able to, do your thing, control your workflow with your voice from Telegram, tell it to create image or any other thing. Try this out. We'll see you again tomorrow.